Kanye West, one of the most fascinating and polarizing figures in pop culture. Try not to get secondhand embarrassment as I go through some iconic times he's been handed a big slice of humble pie. First up, who can forget the infamous incident at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards? It was the night that Kanye stormed the stage, interrupting Taylor Swift's acceptance speech for Best Female Video. In a moment that will be etched in our collective memory forever, Kanye grabbed the mic and declared, "I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time." The audience was shocked, Taylor Swift was visibly shaken, and Kanye just seemed to shrug it off and walk away. It happened on September 13th at Radio City Music Hall in New York City. Taylor won the award, of course, for her song You Belong With Me. Now, Kanye was very visibly agitated, like usual, and when he interrupted Taylor, he was super passionate and going off about how Beyonce should have won for her video for Single Ladies. The audience honestly was just as shocked, and Swift looked stunned, like a deer in headlights, honestly. The incident sparked a very heated debate, with many people condemning West's behavior as rude and disrespectful. Swift, who was obviously shaken and embarrassed, later told ABC News that, she was really humiliated by the whole thing and didn't know if the audience was actually booing her or booing West. Beyonce looked really embarrassed as well, and her husband Jay-Z was just kind of sitting there shaking his head in disapproval. Now, in the days that followed, West faced such widespread criticism that he eventually apologized to Swift on his blog, saying that he was sincerely sorry for his actions. However, he later deleted the apology and went on to defend his behavior in a series of interviews. It's giving Gemini. Anyway, the incident has significant repercussions for both of them, and Kanye took a reputation hit, but he's no stranger to that, even to this day, as we all know. Now, Swift, however, gained even further reach with her music and fan base and got a lot of sympathy and support, with many people kind of praising her for her gracious, response to the incident. It was honestly such a defining moment for both of their careers, and it's been referenced and parodied countless times in pop culture, and it's still a topic of discussion even today, as you can see. Love him or hate him, he's a master of generating controversy, clearly. Okay, next up, we have a time that Kanye had a very public meltdown on Twitter. It was 2016, and Kanye was in the midst of a heated feud with Wiz Khalifa. It lasted way too long, to be honest, like several days, and on January 27, 2016, Wiz Khalifa took to Twitter to express his disappointment with Kanye West's decision to title his upcoming album Waves. Khalifa, who had previously collaborated with West, felt the title was a ripoff of his own wave-making style. Kanye West responded to Khalifa's criticism with a series of tweets that quickly escalated into a full-blown meltdown. West began by accusing Khalifa of being jealous of his success, and he quickly progressed to making personal attacks on Khalifa's music, his fashion sense, and even his parenting. The two rappers were going back and forth, exchanging, barbs and insults, when Kanye suddenly tweeted, "You wouldn't have a child if you were my man." Weird. As the feud continued to escalate, West's tweets became increasingly bizarre and inflammatory. He accused Khalifa of being a copycat, and again, he even went so far to bring up Khalifa's son, Sebastian, who was just a toddler at the time. The tweet was widely condemned, with many accusing Kanye of being homophobic and misogynistic, and as the feud continued to unfold, West faced growing backlash from fans, critics, and also fellow celebrities. Many people expressed outrage over West's behavior. Some even called for him to be banned from Twitter, but he didn't get banned. And after several days of intense criticism, Kanye did delete the tweet and apologize, but the damage had already been done. He acknowledged that he had gone too far and promised to be more mindful of his words in the future. The feud between West and Khalifa eventually did die down, but the aftermath of the meltdown continued to be felt. West's reputation took a big hit, and he faced widespread criticism for his behavior. Khalifa, on the other hand, emerged from the feud with a newfound sense of respect and admiration from fans and critics alike. Now, Kanye West's, public meltdown on Twitter in 2016 was a defining moment in his career. It actually marked a turning point in his relationship with the public and the media, and it sparked a very heated debate about the use of social media by celebrities. I'm very happy that Wiz humbled him. It was like, chef's kiss to see, this happen publicly and on such a big social platform. It will go down in the books as one of the best, and that's why I brought it up, because if you haven't been aware of it before, fan of Kanye or not, you deserve to know, so you're welcome. The most embarrassing moment of Kanye's career came in 2018 when he appeared on TMZ Live and declared that slavery had to have been a choice. Yes, stay with me, I know this is wild, but so on May 1st, 2018, Kanye West appeared on TMZ Live, a live stream show on the celebrity news website TMZ. During the interview, West made a series of very controversial statements, including one about slavery that sparked widespread outrage. The interview was conducted by TMZ's Harvey Levin and Charles Ladabadier, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. West was joined by rapper T.I. and other associates. Now, the conversation began with West discussing his recent return to Twitter and his views on politics and social justice. About 30 minutes into the interview, West began to discuss the topic of slavery. He stated, when you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. He continued to say, that was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all. It's like we're mentally in a prison. I like the word prison because slavery is too direct to the idea of blacks. West's comment was met with stunned silence from the TMZ host and his associates, obviously. However, he was swiftly humbled when one of TMZ's staff, Van Lathan, fired back at West saying he's not a free thinker and that he's not even thinking at all. West's comment, sparked immediate outrage on social media, with many people accusing him of just being ignorant and insensitive. The backlash, was so swift and severe, with celebrities, activists, and everyday people just rebuking West's statement. Critics argue that West's comment was just a gross oversimplification of the complex and brutal history of slavery. They pointed out that slavery was a system of forced labor and oppression that was imposed on enslaved people through violence, coercion, and exploitation. In the days that followed, West attempted to clarify his comments, stating that he was, trying to make a point about mental slavery and the ways in which African Americans have been conditioned to accept oppression. However, his clarification did very little, to calm the outrage, and many people continued to criticize him for his insensitive and ill-informed comments. The fallout from Kanye's comments was significant. He faced, of course, widespread scolding and backlash, and many people called for him to be boycotted or canceled. Now, the incident also sparked a broader conversation about the importance of education and awareness about the history of slavery and its ongoing impacts on African American communities. Kanye's comments about slavery on TMZ in 2018, they're widely regarded as one of the most infamous and ill-advised moments of his entire career. The incident highlighted the importance of education, empathy, and awareness when discussing sensitive and very complex topics, and on social media is actually more hurtful than any TikTok North might create. As the parent who is the main provider and caregiver for our children, I'm doing my best to protect our daughter while also allowing her to express her creativity in the medium that she wishes with adult supervision, because it brings her happiness. Divorce is difficult enough on our children, and Kanye's obsession with trying to control and manipulate, our situation so negatively and publicly is only causing further pain for all. Days later, West actually shared photos from Kim's March 2022 Vogue cover story that featured the reality star with the duo's children. Kanye captioned, and now deleted post, of course, "God, please bring our family back together." That same week, he actually released a song called City of Gods that seemingly referenced Kardashian's romance with Pete Davidson. He rapped in his verse on the track saying, "This afternoon, 100 goons pulling up to SNL. They act like they love you, they don't even like you, they throw a party, won't even invite you. I've seen the same thing happen to Michael," presumably, referring to the late Michael Jackson. Now, the next week, Davidson addressed the rant during, Weekend Update, saying, "What Kanye said after we went off the air last week was one of the most awkward things I've seen here. And I've seen, Chevy Chase speak to an intern." He added, then Kanye said that Democrats broke up black families with welfare and that slavery is not real. "You know how wrong about politics you need to be for me to notice? Do you know how annoying that is? Kanye is a genius, but a musical genius. Joey Chestnut is a hot dog eating genius, but I don't want to hear Joey Chestnut's opinions about things that aren't hot dog related." Despite this very public, humbling act on Pete Davidson's part, they actually would be in the same room again in January 2019 for Kid Cudi's birthday dinner, where Pete, Kanye, Timothée Chalamet, and Kim Kardashian were in attendance. And please take a quick minute to notice the weirdness in that alone. Kim and Pete ended up dating. Timothée is now with Kylie Jenner. It's a little weird, right? Anyway, the end of their beef happened in 2022 when Pete made his farewell exit from SNL, and then him and Kim broke up, with Kanye yet again embarrassing himself, as he has made, he made a fake newspaper post basically on Twitter that poked fun at Pete's career being done basically. That's where things stand now, and given that Davidson and Kardashian are no longer romantically linked, there may not be much reason for his, beef with Kanye to continue, especially since Pete isn't an active social media user and hasn't responded to most of the jabs that Kanye has thrown at him. Did you laugh or cringe at Kanye's most embarrassing moments? Let me know. Thanks for watching. I'm your host Ashley. It's been great catching up.